everyone, it's Kate from Jeeni. Welcome to Inside Story. Today I'm checking in with Olivia King following her performance in the Jam Festival a couple of months back. Hi Olivia, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Um,
Thanks
so,
so much for having me. I'm excited.
and we're so glad to have you. To start off with, let's talk about the Jam Festival. So we really enjoyed your set. How did you find it?
Thank you so much. Yeah, so I did my song 20 something for that festival, and that is probably my favorite song I've written in a while. So it was cool to have that a part of the festival.
Yeah, I loved the festival, and I think I probably really related to it being 25. Kind of the lyrics kind of spoke to me, if you will. So, what were your influences for writing it, and how's the response to the song been?
Yeah, so I wrote it probably in like September of last year, September, October. And I was just feeling what you feel in your 20s, just a lot of pressure to get married, have kids. Am I in the right job? Am I successful enough? Should I be more successful by this point? And just feeling all of those feelings and pressures. And I heard the song Mad at Disney, and she says something in it like, and now I'm 20 something, I still know nothing. And I was like, oh, that would be really cool if I wrote a song about being 20 something. Like, I need to run with that idea. So I kind of took all of those feelings and put them out into this song called 20 something. And I can't tell you like how many people messaged me after I released that song being like, oh my God, I so relate to this. And even the people who aren't in their 20s, they're like, oh my God, I was there at one point, or I'm sure I'll be there at one point. So everyone had a really good reaction. And honestly, it just felt good for me to kind of get all of those feelings out. I'm in my late 20s now.
Mhm.
And it just so happened that like a month after I wrote that song, I ended up getting engaged. So I kind of ticked off one of the boxes there. So maybe I spoke it into existence.
Well, that's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you've been in the industry for 10 years, and you're still only young. So did you always know that you wanted to create music?
Yeah, I started performing in clubs and bars, and they would sneak me in when I was like 15 to perform it. You had to be 21 to get in, but they would sneak me in just to perform. And I just found a real love for it. I always loved it when I was real little, and it was kind of my dream to be a singer at one point for my full career. But once I hit college, I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do full time. I didn't go out and party. I didn't drink, smoke, nothing. All I wanted to do was be in my dorm and write music. And I think that's really what kind of helped me get to the point of where I'm at, because I spent so much of that time not partying
Mhm.
away. I really hunkered down and focused on my music.
So what have been your proudest achievements so far?
Ooh, that's a hard one.
Mhm.
I mean, so a couple years ago, I was focusing a lot on live performances, and I only had about 3,000 followers or so. And I was like, you know what? I need to really focus on my numbers on my social media. And that's what I did. So in the past few years, I really found who my audience was and tried tapping into that more. So I would say once I crossed that 100,000 mark on Instagram, I was like, all right, we're actually doing something here. So
Mhm.
that is sounds like a dumb achievement, but it was something that I've worked really hard for. Also, another one would be getting on New Music Friday UK. Getting on a New Music Friday playlist on Spotify is like
Mhm.
one in a million or more. Like it's just so hard to get on that specific playlist. So getting on that playlist is pretty cool.
And in 2017, you decided to go independent. So, what was it that convinced you to take the huge step? And was it sort of daunting to start with? How did you cope with that?
Yeah, I had always kind of chased after being signed to a label or working with a company or having a manager, and I always thought I needed to rely on other people.
Mhm.
in 2017, I had kind of gotten burned in a bad deal. We had this deal kind of in the works for 6 months. And then when they sent over the contract, I had a few questions and they just kind of like pulled it right out from underneath me and were like, we don't want to do it anymore. And I was like crushed. And I remember sitting there with my now fiance and I had tears in my eyes and he's like, Liv, it's fine. You can do this on your own. You don't need to wait around for other people anymore. And so the two of us just really tried to push my first single. He's like, let's get a song recorded, let's release it, let's just do it. And so he really gave me the motivation that I could do it on my own. And with my first single, we had a wall in our house with all sticky notes of different marketing ideas for the song. So anytime we thought of a new marketing idea, we would stick it on the wall. Whether it was dumb or a great idea, we tried it. And so with my first single, it got about 500,000 streams on Spotify. And I was like, okay, clearly something's working and I think I can do this on my own. So kind of all started from something bad and turned into something good.
And aside from the music, you're also the founder and CEO of Make Music Moves, which is an online course that you started that teaches independent artists like yourself how to be successful in the music industry. So is that what you just said? Is that where that idea sort of came from?
Yeah, I really never had any sort of like a mentor in the music industry or someone that I could kind of look to and follow their path or ask questions. And so I was like, there's not much like this out there where it's an actual artist who's done it before telling you like, okay, this worked for me and this didn't. Stay in this lane, don't go in this one. So I was like, I need to create something like that. So a few years ago, I started that up and had a bunch of students, and I've kind of put it on the back burner for the past year or so, just because I've been focusing on my own music so far, but hopefully we can get that back up and running with opening enrollment soon so I can give all of my latest tips.
And as you've just said, you've now got hundreds of thousands of followers on social media, and you've got over 500,000 views on YouTube. So you're what us 20 somethings might call an influencer. So what would you say to your followers about promoting themselves on platforms such as Jeeni, just kind of getting their music out there?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's really about consistency and trying a bunch of things. I'll always try something once. If it doesn't work, I'll, back off and move on to the next. But being consistent on all social platforms and doing things like festivals on Jeeni and just reaching a new audience is so important. We can reach so many people on the internet nowadays. Like, you don't have to go anywhere or do anything. You can literally be in your house and reach so many people, which is so cool. So to me, just being consistent across all of these social platforms is key.
Thank you, Olivia. It was wonderful to speak to you today.
Yeah, no problem.
And if you missed Olivia's performance on the Jam Festival, it is still available to view on Jeeni.com. It was lovely to speak to you. Thank you for taking part in Inside Story.
No problem. Thanks so much for having me.